Robin Harris?
Yes.
Joseph Canada.
You a Joe or a Joseph?
Either, but usually Joe.
Well, come in and sit down, Joe. Anywhere you like. You're not from the insurance company like the ones before.
No. The company calls me in on a case-by-case basis. When they red flag a claim, have questions about it. They want to know in their hearts if the fire was accidental or...
In their hearts?
They want to know if the fire was accidental or providential before they pay the...
Well, I can tell you the same thing. I told the fire department and the sheriff's deputies and the state fire marshal's office, the California Forestry Department, and the guy from Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. What would you like to know?
I wanted to show you the path of the main fire, where it came down west of your place onto the other side of the ridge.
So, how'd my house catch fire? Is that the question? How about sparks, Joe? The wind blows sparks over the ridge from the brush fires in Boca Chica, and they land by my house. You buy that? Can I get a Manhattan? Or a rabbit or a coyote caught fire? Hey, and ran like hell right through my yard. Hey! Otherwise, I have no idea. Who does a girl have to... Joe, I watched my house go up in flames. I might have stayed till it burned down. I don't know. Maybe not. But a deputy came up the road and made me leave.
So you weren't living in the house at the time?
I was here to see it on TV. Fire trucks, people loading their cars, coming out of their house with their insurance policies, running around looking for pets. I thought I better get up there quick.
Load your car with anything of value, huh? But I understand the house was on fire already. I think that's in the statement you made.
By the time I got there, yeah. The back of the house by a brush thicket. Sid was supposed to have it cut back, but he never got around to it. Sid! The sky by that time was thick with smoke.
See, what the company wonders about is why your house is the only one on Arroyo Street that caught fire.
I guess because there aren't any close by. I'm at the very top of the road. Have you been up there?
I had a look at your place, the chimney and some of the walls. What's hard to tell is where the fire started.
I told you, in the brush thicket.
Maybe. Except it looks like the direction of the fire in the thicket was away from the house. I'm told the wind shifted that afternoon and came off the ocean.
I don't know. It's always windy up there.
So, you bought this place a few months ago?
Not long after Sid died, but I haven't bought it. I'm leasing it, furnished, $9,000 a month with an option to buy.
This place is worth as much as the place you shared with Mr. Harris?
Go for about the same price, $2.5 million. Sidney said the villa was underinsured. That's why just before he died, he had the value of the policy increased.
And when that happened, and the house burns down soon after, the claim gets a red flag.
Well, you know, Sid didn't do it. And I'd have nothing to gain, would I? I'd already decided to sell.
Is that why you moved out?
It's too lonely up there. Just me and the coyotes. Once they ate my cats, both of them. Puddin' and Mr. Piper. Bought a shotgun to see if I could even the score, a 20-gauge Remington. But then a couple deputies came by.
Excuse me, Mrs. Harris.
Yeah?
Sorry, miss, we're gonna have to ask you to stop shooting. We're getting complaints from the neighbors.
From the neighbors? I don't have any neighbors.
Well, we got a call from...
Mrs. Montaigne. She uses binoculars.
How'd you know that?
I spoke to her. Mrs. Montaigne's a self-appointed fire warden. Twice a day, she drives to a spot up on Piuma Road near Rambla Pacifico and looks for smoke. She lost a house in '93 and had it rebuilt.
She actually saw me shooting coyotes? I'm a good mile below Piuma Road.
Not as the crow flies. I went to see her, talk to her about spotting fires, and she surprised me. Said she saw you the day your house burned down.
Saw me where?
At the house. She spotted the main fire and called the county fire camp. They were already on it. Still, 8 houses burned to the ground.
9.
She saw your car, too, the Mercedes convertible.
Yeah, as soon as it came on the news, I got dressed, jumped in the
But
car.
why in a
and-
convertible?
Why not?
Well, if you're going there to save some more of your stuff, and it's might be your only chance, don't you have a Range Rover?
I was thinking about the house. I wanted to find out if it was still there. I'd already picked up my jewelry, moved out most of my
There
clothes.
wasn't
so-
anything else of value.
You have a list, don't you, on the claim?
In my file. I haven't really looked at it.
It's all Asian art, Chinese, some authentic, some copies. But even if I'd brought the Rover, there wouldn't have been room for the big pieces.
So for about 3 months, the house was locked up, nobody there?
I'd spend a weekend.
Alone?
Where are you going with that, Joe? No, I wasn't always alone.
You got up there, and the house is on fire.
Yeah, but I didn't see the flames right away. I told you, the fire started at the other side of the house, away from the road.
You say in the thicket.
Yeah, you have a problem with that?
I might. According to Mrs. Montaigne, you were there a good 20 minutes to a half hour before there was smoke or any sign of a fire. And she had a pretty good view of the backside of the property. In fact, she says she saw you go in the house.
Joseph. What would you like to drink?
Whatever you're having.
Now, tell me, Joe, seriously. Why would you want to be a stooge for some insurance company? I mean, why would anyone? You know? No, first, let me guess where you're from. Midwest, right?
Detroit.
From Detroit, originally?
Born and raised. Came out here 6 years ago.
Made the move out to sunny California, huh? But wait, go back. What'd you do in Detroit?
I was a police officer.
Jesus, really? What kind?
Radio cars, and 10 years on the bomb squad. Got offered a job with an insurance company, investigating claims. Worked for them for a while. Now I work for myself.
Oh, that's great. Still seems like it'd be more fun working on the bomb squad.
Yeah, maybe. I did learn a lot.
Oh, yeah? Such as?
Such as how to recognize arson when I see it.
Here, try this. It's local. Malibu Gold.
Is this the stuff that'll put me to sleep? or
No,
the-
no, this variety inspires wit.
You left out your wife.
I don't have one.
You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I'll bet anything you had a wife at one time.
Yeah. I got married while I was still a cop. We came out here, and then I happened to get involved with a girl from the insurance company, and my wife found out about it.
She divorced you for that?
You'd have to know her.
So it wasn't the first time?
As a matter of fact, it was the first and only time I've ever fooled around.
Really?
Yeah.
You look to me, Joe, like the kind of guy. If it's there, you don't pass it up. You still see her?
What's between my wife and me stays between my wife and me, okay?
That means you do. You keep her for backup, right? Call her when you haven't scored in a while? You ready? One more. I have to go out tonight. Thanks. I love you guys. Good night.
Robin, great show tonight, Robin. You were great.
Thanks.
Listen, there's a man here who wants to meet you, a big attorney. His name
A
is
lawyer? Why the fuck would I want to meet
Sid.
him?
Why? Huh. How about because not one of the artists that Sid Harris represents has ever made a record that stiffed? How about that for why?
Fine. Where is he?
When you got married, did you have to sign a prenuptial agreement?
Don't worry about it.
How'd you and Sid meet?
He saw me perform. We talked after.
Robin, I'd like you to meet Sid Harris. Sid, this is Robin Marino.
Such a pleasure to meet you, Miss Marino.
But basically, Joe, we got together the way people usually do and fell in love.
He was a lot older than you.
What you're asking now, did I marry him for his money? Sure. That had a lot to do with it. But I liked him. Sid was full of energy, played tennis. He'd sit down, cross his legs, and you'd see his foot going a mile a minute. You wanna know how I was in bed? Not bad. Sid had a tough reputation, but with me, he was tender, very gentle. Till Viagra came along and he turned into Attila the fucking Hun.
I thought he had a heart condition.
It wasn't serious. He took something for it. His blood pressure was a little high.
And his doctor let him have Viagra?
He got it over the internet.
But he must have known the combination was dangerous. Viagra and heart medication?
Joe, Sid was a shooter. He didn't get where he was being cautious. That also helped he was a genius.
You were happily married.
Yeah, very.
But you fooled around a little.
Once in a while, I'd find myself in a situation. You know, wasn't serious. I'll tell you the truth, Joe. I miss him. Sid was good to me. You're ready, aren't you?
I thought you were going out.
I changed my mind.
Tell me something.
What do you want to know?
Why you burned your house down?
Why would I?
That's what I want to know. You tell me. You'd have nothing to gain. You were gonna sell the house. Now you don't have it to sell, but you get $2.5 million if they pay the claim, plus the value of the contents.
I could have sold it for more. Easy. But what if? And this is hypothetical, okay? What if a person does actually burn down her house? She owns a property. She can rebuild as she wants. She might even tell the insurance company to forget the claim.
They'd want to know why.
Because they piss her off, and she's above dealing with people with small minds.
Tell me how she starts the fire.
She rolls up the Wall Street Journal and lights it with a match. The point I'm making,
She
Joe,
starts the fire inside the house or outside?
inside. The point I'm making, they can pay the claim or not. If they choose to, fine. If they don't, who's out anything?
She's already out the Mediterranean villa.
And doesn't care.
What makes it Mediterranean, looking down at the Pacific Ocean?
Tile roof, big oval windows and doors. The outside wasn't bad, even though pink's not one of her favorite colors. It's the inside of the house she can't stand. The decor throughout, the furniture, the art, floor to ceiling, everything is Chinese. And she doesn't even like Chinese food. Hey, listen, I can roll another one if you want.
Oh, not for me, thanks. Why doesn't she just change the decor?
Her husband loved it. He knew what everything was and where it came from. It was like a culture thing with him. He becomes an expert on something besides picking hits. Incidentally, not one of the artists he represented ever made a record that stiffed.
He bought the Chinese stuff.
His previous wife, the second one.
Oh.
They redecorated completely after a trip to China.
You couldn't, this hypothetical woman couldn't get used to it.
Joe. It was like living in a fucking pagoda. Jade figurines, foo dogs, opium beds, tomb figures, Ming Cassie panels on the walls, Ming garnitures at their vases, snuff bottles, ink paintings, ivory carvings, Tang horses,
Could have sold it.
Qing Dynasty court rugs, Sung Dynasty Buddhas. 5 years she lives with all this Chinese shit cluttering up the house. Big, heavy pieces. The tomb figure's almost life-size. 5 years, Joe. She begs her husband, please, let's try something else. No. A Mediterranean house. Why don't we do it Mediterranean? No. And not no, and I don't want to hear any more about it. Her husband was a cool guy for his age. Never really raised his voice. But really, it was all she thought about. She'd smoke a J and scheme, like hire a burglar. He takes out a piece at a time, or have it done all at once while they're in Cabo or Maui.
But once her husband's gone, why doesn't she get an auction house in and sell it?
She thinks it would be disloyal to his memory, and it would be on her conscience.
But it's okay if something happens to it.
Yeah, like an act of God.
Or a fire. In an area known for its fires. Do you know who you remind me of?
Linda Fiorentino.
You look just like her.
I know.
The movie where she goes in the bar.
The Last Seduction. Hey, she wants Manhattan. The bartender won't look at her. Hey, so she goes. Who does the girl have to suck around here to get a drink? But as I was saying, Joe, when you come right down to it, who's out? Who's hurt? Who gives a shit outside this person who owns the
I'll
house?
tell you who, if you really want to know. The law. Arson's a second-degree felony. Conviction will get you 2 to 20
For
years.
Christ's sake. Come on, Joe. You want to put me in jail?
I'm not the law. All I'm supposed to do is let them know I see a crime has been committed.
Joe, come on. You're not a snitch. I can tell you're a very practical guy. How much you want?
What's your best offer so we don't waste time?
How about 50 grand?
You could do better than that.
100.
Mrs. Harris. You mind if I call you Robin?
Sure, why not?
Robin, I heard about Sid. I am so sorry, honey. He was such a good man. Are you okay? This must be very hard for you. But you know, now you're set. Selling a Mediterranean villa in Malibu, ocean view, you are set. You could get your own place here. You could go back to New York. You could even put up the money to cut another record. But let's be realistic. Why waste time on old fantasies that'll never happen when you've got such a fabulously secure future ahead of you? I mean, as long as this place doesn't burn down, you are set. No, honey, I said as long as it doesn't burn down. Robin. Robin, don't even think. Robin!
Robin, you've talked to a lot of people. Fire, law enforcement, insurance companies, stooges. But no one's accused you of burning your house down, have they? You drive up to the house. The sky's full of smoke. You've already seen houses burning on the TV news. And they're right over in the next canyon, not half a mile away. And you're thinking, damn it, why can't my house catch on fire? You go inside, and you stand there, surrounded by all this Oriental stuff you hate.
You don't say Oriental, you say Asian.
Either way, you hate it. You stand there looking at all that lacquered stuff, Buddhas and dragons, and you light a joint. The joint's to take the edge off, calm you down, but you look at the match. It's in your hand. It goes out, and you light another match, and look at the flame. All that smoke, remembering what you saw on the news, you're convinced sooner or later your house will catch fire.
I was sure of it.
What you do next is part acceptance and part a farewell gesture to the years you spent here with Sid.
Yeah?
You like the Wall Street Journal.
You're not putting that in your report, are you?
I have no evidence to prove it. Or disprove what you said. The house was burning when you got there.
What about the lady fire warden?
Mrs. Montaigne. She must have been mistaken.
How do I pay you the 100,000?
You don't. I was playing with you, that's all. Seeing what I could score if I did that sort of thing. You should hear some of the offers I get. I come across a fraud situation and can prove it. Some bozo in a neck brace looking for $1 million says he'll split it with me.
You turn him in?
If they're pros. Like the ones that stage car accidents and people are injured. Or if they get ugly about it. Otherwise, tell them to forget the claim and don't try it again.
You're not turning me in.
I told you. I believe your story.
So what should I do?
If I were you, I'd keep after the insurance company. Make them pay. It was nice talking to you, Robin.
You can't stay a while? Joe? Hey, I'm Robin. They say, girl, you gotta turn this thing around. They say, girl, you gotta do the things you can. They say, girl, gonna measure you in pounds. They say, girl, go and find yourself a man.